Okay, folks, in this video, I wanted to give you folks a quick explanation on how to search for images that you folks will be using in your movie poster. One of the best image search engines out there is Google. So what you do is you open up a Google search engine browser page, go up here to images in your upper right hand corner, click on that, and you type in the subject of your image search. In my case, for this example, I'm going to use The Rock or Dwayne Johnson. Now, of course, there's tons of images of The Rock. What you folks want to do for your project is select the largest images possible. Now, as you can see, as I move my cursor over images here, in the bottom left-hand corner, if you're using Google image search, you have the size of the image listed, okay? What you want is to have these two numbers as large as possible. So for example, here we have a 1280 by 720. 1280 would be the pixel size going that way. 720 is the pixel size going this way. Obviously here, 640 by 360, that's a smaller image than this image here. Now, for example, this image here, we have 1920 by 1080, so that's larger than this and larger than that. And folks can refine your searches by using the tools option here. Clicking on that, we want to go to size, you click on that. Now, you can use large, medium, or icon. Large is probably the size you folks want to go to because you want the largest size possible. Okay. Sometimes they have other options available, like a certain custom size. Okay. So now most of the images here are large sized images. You won't have the 640 by 380 types. Okay. So this is a great image because of the size. Look at that, 2167 by 2167 here. Remember, the larger the number, the better the quality of picture. Okay, even this one here, 3000 by 2279. This would be an awesome picture. Even here. So just keep in mind, the larger the image, the better the quality when you cut it out. Okay. So when you find a picture you want, say I want to grab this one here, click on it. Sometimes it's difficult to get the image. What you could do is click on it, and usually you'll be taken to the website where that picture is on. What we want to do is see if we can download this picture. So on this picture here, you might want to right click on it and try view image. Okay, so we got a large picture here. Notice my cursor changed to a magnifying glass. Sometimes it'll still be the arrow pointer, and what you want to do in a situation like that is just go off the picture and back on, and you watch. As you watch this, you'll see that my cursor changes from the pointer to the magnifying glass. Click on it, and this is the actual size of the picture here. So what you want to do is right click, save image as, and you can name it however you want. I'm just going to go Rock 01, whatever you want to name it, so that it's easy for you folks to file it away. And I'm going to save it to my desktop. I click save. So now I have the rock image right here on my desktop. What you want to do is create a folder on your desktop. Now, obviously, I'm on a Mac, but you PC guys and gals, you folks know how to create a new folder on your desktop, or I'm hoping you do. And title it however you want. I'm just going to put rock images and just file it away for now. Okay, that's one image that I got of the rock. Okay, so I'm just going to go back up and just keep looking for images that you'd like to put in your poster. Now, one thing to keep in mind, besides the size of your image, is the light source. Okay, the reason I say keep in mind the light source, or where the light is coming from that's lighting your character, or the person that you're taking or getting the picture of, is when you start to edit the image in Photoshop, you want to make sure that everything in your movie poster has the same or almost the same light source. What that does is it cuts down on how much editing you have to do. For example, so I just took, what image did I just grab from? This image. So as you notice, the light source here is mainly coming from above, right? Because you have the shininess on his head, the light here on his shoulders, the shadows are below, right? So you have a light source coming here and a light source coming at least from over here, because you see the light is hitting his arm and casting a shadow across his body. Now, if we take, say, this picture here of him on the beach for his Baywatch movie, you notice that the sunlight, is coming here from this direction, casting a shadow to the right of him. You see shadow from his head here, shadow on this side of his body, the light hitting his arm and casting a shadow across his leg there. Okay? Now, if you stick a picture like this with a picture like this, the light sources don't match up for two reasons. The light source is coming from two different directions in each picture. Here you have the light source coming from above as well as this way and from this way. He's in a building, so he has multiple light sources hitting him. Whereas here, he has only one light source, and that's coming from the upper corner here across his body. So if you put these two images in a movie poster, they're not really going to match up. You folks probably can see that already. As I said before, there's two reasons. I just described one reason, and that's the direction of the light. You have multiple directions here and just one direction here, as well as the brightness of the light or the source of the light. In this picture here, you have one source, and that's the sun. Really harsh, bright light with sharp edges on the shadows. Whereas here, of course, it's overhead lamps or lights or incandescent lights, the typical light you would have in a room. And you have softer shadows here. Yeah. So when you folks are searching for images, try to get as much images as you can, but also keep in mind the light source. See, even yet here in this picture, so these are incandescent lights, right? So you have softer shadows and whatnot. Here in this picture, obviously overhead light. What else examples could I give you here? Here, his wedding in Hawaii. Obviously, you have sunlight coming from this direction, so it's not necessarily going to match up with um, this picture here, where you got the light source overhead. So you got to try to match up as much as possible uh, light sources. I mean, you don't have to, but it'll make your job so much easier when you are compositing or putting your pictures, editing your pictures in your Photoshop document. It's a lot easier when the light sources are the same. Okay? So if you're going to do an outside picture where sunlight is hitting him, try to look for other pictures where he's out and there's harsh sun. Even with this picture, you can tell this is like maybe late morning, almost noon time, or early morning, say around 9 to 10 o'clock in the morning, you could tell, versus late evening, roughly about 5 or 6 o'clock in the afternoon or evening. Okay? So be conscious of the images you get. Okay, folks? Now, it is possible to take images and sort of simulate shadows by painting in the shadows. But like I said before, if at all possible, you folks want to try to minimize the amount of editing you have to do. So if you try to keep the images that you get as much as possible all from a single side light source, or if you're going to do an indoor image, try to make sure the light is coming from the same side. In this in this instance, we got two different light sources. One light source is obviously has a blue tint to it, whitish blue, and the light source from this angle has a yellowish orange tint. Okay, so to find other images with this type of lighting may be difficult. You can edit images so that you can take something like this and put like edit it so there's a blue light source with a yellowish orange on this side, but that's more work that you folks have to do. So I'm not saying don't get multiple images, just try to limit it as much as possible, different light source images, just so that you folks do not have to um, do too much editing. And once again, the way you grab your image is you want to right click, view image, you get your image, and you right click again, save image as. Now, this won't always work, okay? There's some websites that may not allow you to pull images. So if you do try to grab an image by doing a right click and view image, see, this image is really small. You don't want that one. Um, Let me see if I can find one by right clicking on it. No, most of these are allowing me. I've encountered images before where I did a right click and a view image and they didn't pop up. But this is yet another good example. Oh, there you go. Where you get a large image like so. Let's try this one with his daughter. View image. Try once more. One more time. There you go. You notice how it was different sizes? This was way smaller before. That's because I didn't let the image finish downloading. Now, you folks may not have seen it, but there was a little progress bar at the bottom of the image. That means the image was still loading. So it gave me a smaller version of the image until the image was finished uh, downloading. Then it gave me the actual size image. Let's try another one. I think You see this progress bar right here? Let's click on another one. You see there, the progress bar? If you try to click on the image before that progress bar disappears, you might get a smaller image. So let's, ah, now the internet decides to be faster. Let me try this. No. Okay, let's try here. View image. There. You see how small it is? That's because I didn't let the image finish loading. Now if we try again, a lot larger. So just remember, I know this is a lot of things to remember. Just refer back to this video if you folks don't remember everything. But try to let this progress bar finish downloading. Once it disappears, that means the image has completely downloaded. So when you do the view image, you get the entire picture. And remember, if you see the cursor with the magnifying glass, expand the image to its largest size. There you go. Got a picture of this nice shiny dome. Then you right click, save image. Okay. So that's basically how to save your images. Keep in mind, you want the largest images possible. The larger these two numbers, the better quality image you get. Remember the light source of your image. Try to keep the light sources as much as possible coming from the same direction and the same type of light source. If you're going to get something where he's standing in the sunlight, you want to try to make sure that most of his pictures that you get from the internet are from sunlight based pictures. Probably the more easier pictures to get, depending on which person or subject you get images of. The easier pictures to deal with are ones where they're in a room. Okay. And once again, you want to make sure you filter or tell Google you want the largest images possible. So you want to click on Tools, come over to Size, and instead of any size, you want large. That way, Google filters out all of the smaller images, and there's a lot better chance that the images you do get are going to be way larger. Okay, folks? So that's how you save images. And remember to collect as much images as you can, not only of your character, but say if you are doing a character that is situated in New York City. So you type in New York City. Some of these pictures may not match up with your eye line. What I mean is, if you have a character in the foreground of your picture, you don't want him or her, or it, if it's a robot or something, floating above the city. So you're not going to have a picture like this. You want something more on the ground level, right? Instead of a bird's eye view like this. What I mean by bird's eye view, of course, is if you're a bird looking down, you want something like an ant's eye view or a person's eye view, eye level. Okay, so you might even go a step further in typing in your search street level. And now say something like this or something like this here. Let's go view image. Oh, I didn't let it download all the way through. As you can see here, still got the progress bar. I have to wait until it finishes downloading. But I think this is more than enough. Oh, there you go. Now, view image. Okay, so this is a person's eye view, or maybe a view from a car. Now, if you put the rock over here, it looks, a little bit more believable rather than if I had him. Let me back it up. Rather than from, say, this view, trying to put the rock with this view in the background, you know, might is not as believable. I mean, it's going to look like the rock is floating above everything. So keep that in mind as well. I wanted to put that out there when you folks are looking for images for the background. Okay, unless you know, like in that other video I showed you, the example of movie posters where there was that cat in the astronaut suit, and then you had the Earth in the background. Maybe then, you know, because the cat was an astronaut floating in space, having the Earth behind made more sense. So if you have the Rock in a Superman suit and maybe he's flying, then this picture background might make more sense. So keep all of that in mind when you folks are choosing pictures for your movie poster. That's a lot to remember, which is why I wanted you folks to start looking for pictures, because this is probably one of the longer processes of the project, is actually searching for images. So if you folks start now, by the time you folks are ready to start your movie poster in the next week or two, you folks will have a decent amount of pictures to work from. Okay, folks? So I just wanted to put that out there for now, that you folks should begin looking for your pictures now. Okay? Decide on what you want in your movie poster, write out your synopsis, and then start looking for images. Okay, that's it for this video. Good luck, and I hope you folks find the images that will help you make your movie poster. If you folks need any help, hints, or advice for images, feel free to email me.